When I think of heroes living in this corrupt world today, I think of them as God's appointed lights lit up for the whole of humanity to see. In the backdrop of corrupt judges, and there are many who grew in prominence during the Obama administration, a shining light has been raised up to shine her brightness upon our nation, exposing the deepest political corruption affecting all of us. Justice Jeanine Pirro is a true light sent by God, most needed at this time in history. Please listen as she sets our nation straight, and please join in the conversation by leaving your comments below.
So, here we are at the one-year anniversary of the Mueller investigation, staffed with the singularly most biased special counsel attorneys in American history. And since then, we have witnessed events unfold, which are so unbelievable, so unimaginable, you'd have to be wearing a tinfoil hat or a card-carrying member of the conspiracy party to even believe it exists. We watched a president claim he'd been wiretapped. The Democrats chuckled. But he was right. He was right. Prosecutors and FBI agents working to change the course of political history. A shadow government whose agenda is to maintain their own power and control. A deep state we thought existed only on the pages of novels. Alive and well here in the United States of America. We've watched in real time as text messages revealed those agents conspiring not only to interfere with the presidential election, but to then create the basis to overthrow a sitting president. $10 million and millions of documents later, nothing, I repeat, nothing has touched the president in spite of their claims.
Have Democrats found any evidence of collusion?
Yes, we have. I still maintain that there is evidence of collusion, and I can't go into the particulars, but there is more than circumstantial evidence now.
And every time we hear more is coming, the deep state does nothing but continue to show how deep and dirty it is. The head of the FBI lies to Congress. He even lies about the statutory elements of a crime because he wants to protect Hillary Clinton. That same director conducts a laughable, make-believe investigation of his favorite Hillary with no grand jury, no search warrant, no subpoenas, where he sat back and watched as the accused destroyed evidence, deleted emails, with his cohorts in the Department of Justice hands out immunity deals without ever requiring that they testify. He exonerates the target before the investigation is even over. So biased that he allows the same FBI agents who exonerate Hillary to create an investigation against Donald Trump based on a fake dossier to create the basis for surveillance of the Trump campaign, paid for by the candidate they wanted to win. The FBI knew that Hillary Clinton and the DNC paid for that dossier that had no basis in fact. They even tried to get a friendly judge to take the case and issue the warrant by trying to set up a dinner party as a cover. That judge ended up recusing himself from the prosecution of Michael Flynn. For months, we've watched as the FBI and the DOJ have denied having any documents. They said there are no emails on the Clinton-Loretta Lynch tarmac meeting, but there were. They lied to us. We watched as members of Congress try again and again to get documents from the Department of Justice and the FBI, but they won't hand them over. They stonewall, and there seems to be no way to get those documents. And all the while, the Department of Justice and the FBI sit back and watch as their candidate approved the sale of 20% of our uranium to Russia and then pocket $145 million for their so-called charity. All the while, the Clinton Foundation receives hundreds of millions of dollars from people doing business with the U.S. government, our government. And when Jeff Sessions decides to recuse himself, Rod Rosenstein, a man we have never even heard of, appoints his pal, Bob Mueller, to investigate our president. And this week, we find out the FBI ran a spy operation, actually placing an informant, a mole, in the Trump campaign before there were any legal grounds to do any such thing. It was a classic totalitarian third world tactic. This person has as much as been identified. He's engaged in skullduggery going back to Bush 41. My FBI sources tell me there would be no reason for him to even run into a Page or a Papadopoulos. And get this, he's disappeared for the last 9 months. Now, I want you to remember that you heard it here first. Any collector, their name for an informant working on a national campaign, must have a sign-off by the Attorney General. Here, that would be liar Loretta Lynch. Lynch herself would have had to have approved an informant on that campaign. And if she didn't, then the FBI under James Comey was even more corrupt, going rogue in their attempt to destroy Donald Trump. But what, ladies and gentlemen, is unmistakable in all of this is that the single most dangerous person to the agenda of President Trump, the Republican Party, and ultimately to all Americans, is the Attorney General of the United States himself, Jeff Sessions. The man has done nothing to make anyone responsible for the blatant corruption, the unmistakable perjury, the in-your-face obstruction of our laws that we've seen play out every day. He has fought the release of telling documents that would put an end to this horrible period in America's political history, documents that would make clear that the criminals in this attempt to overthrow an American president. He's even argued that he doesn't want to release records of Hillary because she's now a private citizen. This man has done nothing to create confidence that wrongdoers will be accountable, answerable. He has done nothing to create confidence on the part of the American people in our system of justice. And with all the power and might of the Department of Justice behind him, he continues to do nothing. He refuses to take them out in cuffs. The most powerful prosecutor in the world, the man who holds the scales of justice in his hands, hides behind the coattails of a Rod Rosenstein, a man we've never even heard of, who is in fact behind all of Jeff Sessions' decision, who is in fact running our Department of Justice. The man who has the honor to carry the prefix United States Attorney General before his name, Jeff Sessions, is indeed the most dangerous man in America.